I am based here in Los Angeles. Today we will be going through an intelligent dynamic flow sequence, focusing more on our hips and hamstrings. So let's take a comfortable seat, start in a cross-legged position. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze, hands on your knees, palms down or open, your choice. And just let your pelvic floor ground down, shoulders over your hips. Let your chin drop softly to your chest to keep your neck long, and just relax your shoulders. Let's all come together. Take a long, deep inhale to the top of your breath. Pause at the top and exhale through your mouth. So the first couple of rounds is exhale through the mouth. At the very bottom of your breath, hold for just a brief moment. And then from that pelvic floor, deep, long inhale. Sit taller, draw your belly softly up and back. Pause at the top. Exhale through your mouth, all the way to the bottom of your breath. One more just like that, and you'll breathe on your own. Deep, long inhale. Exhale through your mouth. Pause at the bottom. Now breathing on your own, breathing through your nose. Long, deep inhale from your pelvic floor to the top of your chest. A brief pause at the top. And exhale through your nose now. And try to create that same sound you created with your mouth open with your mouth closed. Ujjayi breath. You're guiding your breath up and down the back of your throat. So you slightly restrict your throat to create that sound. The sound is not forced. It's just audible that you can hear yourself breathe. Okay, so the breath becomes a tool as we go through our practice to help us stay centered and focused. So deep, long inhales into your upper back. And smooth exhales all the way out. Notice the length of inhale to exhale. And try to slow down that inhalation. So length of inhale to the exhale is about the same. Shoulders stay relaxed. Breath is steady. One more round of breath, a longer, deeper inhale. And pause just a little longer at the very top of that breath. And then exhale all the way out. Softly open your eyes. On your next inhale, lift both arms. Draw your belly up and back. Reach and lengthen through your fingertips. Take another long inhale to lengthen. Sit up taller. Then as you exhale, let's take a twist to the right. So your right hand goes behind you, left hand on your right knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale to twist. Each inhale you lengthen. Each exhale, find that deeper twist. Both hips are firmly grounded, especially your left one. Take a last cycle of breath. Slowly unwind. Inhale, lift both arms. Stay here through your exhale. Reach and lengthen once again. Draw your belly up and back. Another long inhale. Reach a little higher. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, find your twist. Try to keep your right hip grounded as you twist deeper. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Lift your chest slightly. Exhale, keep that twist. Take a last breath. Slowly unwind. Arms reach all the way up. And as you exhale, take your hands just behind your hips. Shoulder heads back, either chin to chest or head back. And then lift your heart slowly to the ceiling. Draw your shoulders back. Just creating a soft back bend. Squeezing your shoulder blades together. Take a last breath here. Then come back to neutral. Keep your legs crossed, but have both feet on the floor, either crossing at your ankles or crossing deeper at your calves. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, place your hands in front of you and walk your hands forward until your arms are straight. You can stand fingertips or hands flat. Another inhale to lengthen. Exhale, just release down. As you reach forward, keep both sit bones firmly grounded, keeping your shoulders relaxed. Then keep firming your outer upper arms in. Continue with your steady breath. Inhaling into your upper back and exhale all the way out. Keeping that Ujjayi breath. Stay here for another full cycle of breath. And then slowly walk your hands back in. Then cross your legs the other way, keeping both feet flexed. Cross at your ankles or your calves if you like to go deeper. Arms up, reach and lengthen. Belly draws up and back again. Exhale, hands down. Walk your hands forward. One more inhale, long spine. Exhale and release. You can be on fingertips or hands flat, your choice. Both sit bones are grounded, spine is long. Steady breath. So steady breath through your nose. If you need to exhale with your mouth occasionally to relax, if you find yourself tightening in your jaw or tensing up in your shoulders, feel free to exhale out through your mouth. Take a last breath and slowly walk it back in. Let's make our way to all fours. We'll start with 4 rounds of cat and cow with child's pose. Your hands are flat now, fingers spread wide, shoulders over your hips, knees underneath your hips. Inhale, lift your sit bones, shoulders back, gazing forward. As you exhale, round your back first, chin to chest, pull your belly up, then slowly bring your sit bones all the way back to your heels, keeping your arms completely straight. On your next inhale, come to all fours again, lengthening, shoulders come over your wrist, gazing forward, sit bones are lifted. As you exhale, you're rounding, chin to chest, pull your belly softly up, and then slowly sit all the way back. Try to use the entire breath for each movement. 2 more. Inhale to come forward to lengthen. As you exhale, you're rounding your back first, you're sitting back to your child's pose. 1 more. Inhale forward. Exhale, rounding, sit back, stay in child's pose. Sit bones to heels or as far back as you can go safely. Arms stay straight now. Palms are grounded. Keep reaching out through your fingertips and try to press more between your thumb and index fingers. Upper arms are firming in. Take a last breath here. And now from here, make your way to your first downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, lift your hips. Take any movement you like on this first one, whatever feels good to you. You can shift your hips side to side. You can bend your knees. Just get that wiggling out of the way on this first one so we can hold still later. Your gaze is either the floor between your feet, knees, or thighs, whatever's easier on your neck. When you're ready to hold still, keep your feet apart, hips width, spread your toes. Press out through your inner heels and press both heels firmly towards the ground. Keeping that steady breath. Then your next inhale, come into plank, top of a push-up, shoulders come over your wrists. You're only going halfway down, either on your knees or with straight legs, elbows at your sides, and come halfway down. Inhale back to straight arms. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Okay, repeating the same thing. Inhale, plank, either on your knees or straight legs. Exhale to lower halfway. Inhale, push back. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more. Inhale, plank. Gaze to the floor in front of you. Belly draws up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, press back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Open your hip and bend your knee. Then square your hips off. Point your toes down. Exhale to plank. Knee to chest. Round your back, just like you did earlier, cat. Inhale, press back to your downward dog. Right leg up and back. Exhale, back to plank. Knee to chest. Rounding. 1 more. Inhale, press back. Exhale, come to plank, knee to chest, stay. Look towards your hands, place your right foot forward. Make sure your knee's directly over your heel. Turn your chest to the right, lift your right arm up. Keep firming your right hip in. And activate your left leg by pressing your left heel. Last cycle of breath. Bring your right hand to the floor. Step back to plank, this time for your full vinyasa. Take another inhale. Exhale to lower down. Come all the way down this time. Make sure your wrists are beneath your elbows. As you inhale, lift your chest. You can stay low in cobra with your elbows bent, where I'm at now. Maybe a little deeper, shoulder blades moving down your back. If you have an upper dog in your practice, you can move to straight arms. Your knees will be just off the ground. You're pressing into your hands and tops of your feet firmly. 1 more breath. Through all fours, press back, downward facing dog. Pause here, take your feet closer together. Inhale, lift your left leg, open your hip, bend your knee. Square your hips off, point your toes down. Exhale, plank, knee to chest, round your back. Inhale, press back, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, plank, knee to chest, rounding. 1 more, inhale, press back. Exhale, plank, knee to chest, pause, look forward. Step your foot all the way forward. Make sure your knee is directly over your heel and turn to the left, left arm reaches up. And keep firming your outer left hip in. And activate your right leg by pressing through your right heel. Take a last cycle of breath. Come back into your plank. Pause and plank. Abdominals are engaged. Take an inhale. Exhale to come all the way down again. Inhale for your back bend. Cobra or your low back if you're going deeper. Downward dog as you exhale. Press all the way back. Equalize your breath as you hold your downward dog. And as we go through practice, if you need to come down to your knees to take child's pose, to take breaks, if you need to take skip some vinyasas, really mindful of your energy today. Every day is a little different, so just choose wisely. On your next inhale, come high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look up. Keep your feet hips width apart for now and take a deep inhale, come up halfway. And as you exhale, fold. On your next inhale, come all the way up, arms reaching up, your palms will touch, and exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Let's just do a forward fold movement before we do the traditional Surya Namaskar. You can choose your feet apart, hips width. You can choose your feet together. Release your arms to your sides. And since we have a lot of space right now, if you have the space at home, arms are going out and up. This is old school. The forward part is because classes got really crowded as yoga became really popular. But doing it out and up like this, if you have the space, is really nice for the shoulders. So deep inhale, lift both arms. Palms facing or together, softly gaze to your thumbs. As you exhale, take a forward fold, hands to your shins, the floor or blocks if you have them. You can bend your knees if you need to. Inhale halfway up to lengthen your spine. So you're lengthening from your tailbone all the way up to your crown of your head. And as you exhale, go right back to the forward fold. A deep inhale to rise, arms coming up, palms touching again. And exhale, hands, arms down to your sides. Next breath, same thing. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Empty your lungs completely. Inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Exhale, right back to that forward bend. Inhale to come up, arms reaching up. And exhale as your arms come all the way down. Let's do one more like that, and we'll add on. Inhale, arms rise, moving with your breath. Exhale, fold from your hips. Relax your neck. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, right back to that forward fold. A long inhale to come up, arms reaching up. And exhale as your arms come all the way down. Let's start Surya Namaskar. We'll do 3 rounds. Inhale, both arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to your plank. Be mindful to come down either on your knees or with straight legs. Inhale for your back bend. 1 full breath here. Exhale and press back. Equalize your breath. Full deep inhales. Smooth out your exhales. So again, let your breath be the tool to help you stay present and focused on your practice. On your next inhale, come high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Walk or jump your feet to your hands. Once you land, take a deep inhale. Come up halfway. And as you exhale, bow down. Inhale to rise. Arms coming up, palms touch. And exhale, arms down to your sides. Next breath. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold from your hips. Inhale, halfway up to lengthen. Exhale, step back to your plank and right away lower all the way down. Inhale for your back bend, a full breath. Exhale, press all the way back. Equalize your breath. Full deep inhales and exhales. Open your thighs firm, pressing back. As you warm up, try to get your arms and legs a little bit straighter. Take a last cycle of breath. End of the exhale, look up, walk or jump, land lightly. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, arms reaching up. And exhale, arms to your sides. And this last one, say the inhale and the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale takes you all the way down to your Chaturanga Vinyasa. Inhale. This is your back bend. Exhale. Holding still here. Soften your ribs in. Draw your belly softly up. Continue pressing into the palms of your hands, especially more between your thumb and index fingers. Last breath. End of the exhale, look up, walk or jump. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale to rise, arms reach. And exhale, arms all the way down. Starting Surya Namaskar. First one will be a little bit slower and then we'll speed it up. So as you inhale, bend your knees, lift both arms. Keep weight on your heels. Keep reaching up to your fingertips. Take another long inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to your plank and lower all the way down. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, press back. Right away, take your right leg forward. 1 breath to come up to your warrior 1. So your hips are facing forward, arms are reaching up. You can have your palms touching, gazing up. If that's too much, look forward with your palms apart. Take a last breath, a deep inhale. Exhale, hands down. You have a choice to go to plank, to lower down, or to go to your downward dog or your child's pose. If you're taking a vinyasa, exhale to lower. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale to press back. Right away, your left leg comes forward for warrior one. A deep inhale to rise. Hips face forward, arms reach up. Then whatever gaze is easier, you can look forward, you can have your palms apart. Last breath. On the exhale, hands down, step back and take your vinyasa. And again, be mindful of these vinyasas. Feel free to skip, take breaks as you need them. Find your way to your downward dog or your child's pose. Equalize your breath. So keep following the beginning of the inhale through the end of your exhale. Take a last breath. End of your exhale, look up, walk or jump. Inhale, halfway up to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, arms reach up. Exhale, straight legs, arms to your sides. Now we'll do more traditional moving on the breath, 2 more rounds. Inhale, bending your knees, arms rise. Exhale and fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to your plank and right away lower down, vinyasa. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, press back. Right leg, warrior one. This time, one deep inhale to rise all the way up. And on the exhale, vinyasa. And if you need to go a little bit slower, we'll go a little slower. We'll meet up in our downward dog after the left side. So from your downward dog, as you're ready, take your left foot forward. One breath to rise. And then on the exhale, take the vinyasa. Take your time. We'll meet up in downward facing dog or in child's pose. Equalize your breath once again. Find your gaze. So these are all the tools that help us stay present and focused throughout our practice, the movement, the breath, and our gaze points. So it turns us into a more of a moving meditation. Take a last breath here. End of your exhale, look up, walk or lightly float forward, inhale. And exhale, bow down. Inhale to chair, bend your knees, arms rise. Exhale, straight legs, arms to your sides. As we did yesterday and this last one, I'll just say the inhales and the exhales. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Equalize your breath. Hold here. Now from here, just walk your hands backwards to your feet. Keep your feet apart, hips width. Reach for your big toes and hook your toes with your first 2 fingers and thumbs. Deep inhale, come up halfway, and exhale and fold. Try to keep your sit bones over your heels. And if you're warmer now, try to get your legs a little bit straighter, but being mindful not to lock into the back of your knees. You can choose to stay here or take your hands beneath your feet. Try to get your toes to your wrists if you're choosing to slide your hands underneath and keep weight on your toes. Another deep inhale to lengthen and exhale, bow down. Continue with that steady breath. Keep weight on your toes, shoulders relaxed, away from your ears. Take the last breath. Taking your hands out, walk back to your downward facing dog. Take a long, deep inhale and pause at the top of the breath. Exhale out through your nose or your mouth, empty your lungs. Look up, bend your knees, walk or jump forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees back to chair and stay in chair pose. Pause here, find your balance, and then start to lift your heels up off the floor so that you're on your toes. Keeping both arms up, slowly bring your sit bones as close to your heels as you can get them. And then slowly come back up, stay in chair, stay on your toes. Inhale here. Exhale to once again lower down. Inhale to come up. One more. Exhale, slowly lower. And up, bring your hands down. So now you have a choice to go either into yogi squat. You can have your feet wider, as wide as your mat. and stay here and wait. Or we're taking the arm balance Bakasana. If you're choosing the arm balance, your knees are above your elbows or towards your armpits. Hands go flat, fingers spread wide. Come forward high up onto your toes. Gaze to the floor in front of you. Press into your fingertips like you did earlier in downward dog. Pull your belly up. Start to lift your feet one off the floor at a time. Eventually both will come up together. If you're not lifting your feet off today, you can just go back and forth. Come high to your toes, press down, and then back off. Each time you come forward, you're pressing arms straight back against your knees. If you're holding your pose, we're here for another cycle of breath. And then as you're ready, step back or jump back and take your vinyasa to your downward facing dog. Pause in your downward dog, and on your inhale, lift your right leg, open your hip, bend your knee. Square your hips out, point your toes down. Come back to plank, bend your knee, bring it towards your upper right arm. Try to make contact, keep your arms straight. Inhale, press all the way back. 2 more times. Exhale, plank, right knee to upper right arm. Inhale, press all the way back. Last one. Exhale, plank, knee to arm, stay here. Now bring you to center. Now take your foot forward, back to warrior one. Now that you're warmer, try to get your right thigh parallel to the floor. And make sure your knees directly over your heel. Your alignment here is heel to heel. Arms are reaching and lengthening up. As you press into your left heel, keep drawing your right hip back. Left hip slightly forward. Take an inhale. And now exhale to your warrior two. Open your hips, open your arms. You now have heel to arch alignment. So move your foot a few inches over to your left. You're softly gazing to the right. Keep that steady breath. Keep firming your outer right hip in. Wrap your left arm behind your back, turn your right palm open. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Turning your chest slightly to your left, soften your front ribs in. Last breath. Coming back for your warrior two, stay here through your exhale. Another deep inhale, and now exhale to your vinyasa. And again, you can choose to hold your plank to your downward dog. You can choose to take child's pose. Okay, you chose the full vinyasa. Let's all meet up in our downward dog. And pausing together, take your feet closer. And as you inhale, lift your left leg, open your hip, bend your knee. Come back into plank, knee to upper left arm now. Try to make contact. Nice. Inhale, press all the way back. Exhale, back to plank. Arms are straight. Try to make contact again. Inhale, press all the way back. Last one. Exhale, plank. Knee to arm. Pause. Knee to center. Take your foot forward. Inhale to your warrior one. Knees directly over your heel. Try to get your left thigh parallel to the floor. Arms reach up. As you press into your right heel, keep drawing that left hip back. Reach and lengthen through your fingertips. Take another long inhale. Exhale to your warrior two. Open hips and arms. Move your foot a few inches over to the right, so heel to arch alignment. You're softly gazing to your left. Last breath. Wrap your right arm behind your back, turn your left palm open. As you inhale, reverse your warrior. Find your gaze. I prefer looking towards my back foot. That's easier on my neck, but you can look towards your left hand. Just be mindful of your neck here. Then soften your front ribs in and turn your chest slightly to your right. Take a last breath. Coming back through your warrior two. Stay here through your exhale. Another deep inhale. And now let's take our vinyasa. Okay, so choose your vinyasa wisely. And we'll meet up in our downward facing. Pause here. Take a long, deep inhale. Exhale out through your mouth. End of the exhale, walk or jump forward. Come up halfway, lengthening. And exhale, fold. Inhale back through chair, bend your knees, lift your chest and arms. Exhale, straight legs, hands in front of your heart. All right, turn towards me so that you can see me, whatever direction that is. I'll teach opposite now since I'm not actually facing you guys. So we're going into our triangle pose on both sides and into half moon. Okay, so your right leg turns out first from the right hip socket. Your left foot slightly angles in. Your alignment is heel to arch. Take both arms out to your sides. Make sure your ankles are beneath your wrists, so you know your stance is long enough. Take a long, deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to reach to your right, hinging from your right hip. Reach a little further, then place your hand on your leg. If you have a prop, you use your block. If your toilet paper works these days. And then you can find your gaze. You can look down, sideways, or towards your top hand. Keep opening your chest towards the ceiling from your bottom right ribs. Soften your front ribs in. Keep that steady breath. Your legs are active. You're pressing into your right heel. Upper left thigh is firm. Arms are nice and long here. So we focus on your arms for a minute as you press down into your right hand, lengthen through your left fingertips. Same arms we're going to have later in a pose called Vashisthasana, which is an arm balance. Take a last breath. Wrap your left arm behind your back. Let's transition to our half moon. Gaze down, bend your right knee, step your left leg in. Move your right hand forward and to the right of your foot and start to lift your left leg up. Now, if you're a little newer to this, keep your bottom knee bent and your back leg a little bit lower and stay here. If you're a little more seasoned, open your chest, straighten out your right leg, and lift your left leg as high as your hip. Press through that left heel. If you're going further, lift your left arm up. Reach and lengthen. Pretend you have a string on your top hand and foot, and you're lengthening all the way up. You're reaching through that ceiling. Someone's pulling you up, getting longer and longer. A couple of variations I can offer you. These are options. You can bend your left knee, reach back for your foot. Find a back bend version. Some of you, it's still in fashion, I guess, in 2020, to lift your bottom hand away from the floor. It's not my personal favorite, to be honest with you, but a lot of my students really like to do that. So I'm going to give it a shot, but I don't really like to do that because it really puts, for me, too much pressure on my hip. But there we go. All right, so whatever version you're in, just enjoy that for another cycle of breath. And as you're ready, release your back leg. Land lightly in your triangle. Pause there for a cycle of breath. And on your inhale, slowly come up and bring your hands to your hips. Reverse your legs. From that right hip socket, turn your right leg in, turn your left leg out. Okay, make sure there's a slight angle on your back foot. Your alignment is heel to arch. Arms up. Make sure your ankles are beneath your wrists. Take another long inhale. As you exhale, reach as far as you can to your left. So hinging from that left hip, reach a little bit further, then bring your hand down. Then lift your right arm, open your chest. Find your gaze. Steady breath. Press into your left heel. Upper right thigh is firm. Soften your ribs in. That's all the actions we had on the other side. Find the same ones here. And as you press into your left hand, lengthen your right fingertips. Think of really nice long arms, which we'll utilize later when we go into the arm balance, Vashisthasana. Take a last breath. Wrap your right arm behind your back, transitioning to half moon. Gaze down, bend your left knee. Move your left hand forward to the left of your foot and start to lift your right leg up. So phase one, keep your left knee bend, your back leg lower, and your gaze down. Phase two, straighten out your left leg and lift your right leg as high as your hip. Press through that right heel. Full pose, lift your right arm up. Now pretend there's a string on your top handed leg, and someone's lifting you up, so you're getting longer and longer. Nice. Focus on your breath. And then we have those choices we had before. If you chose the back bend, reach back for your right foot and take your foot back behind you. And if you chose to lift your bottom hand, go for it. So wherever you're at, just enjoy your variation. Enjoy the pose. Make sure you're breathing steadily. Last breath. Release your leg, point your toes, land lightly and gracefully into your triangle. Stay there. On your inhale, stand up. Bring your hands to your hips. Right. Keep your legs parallel now. That means your second toes face forward. Your heels are behind your second toes. Keeping your hands on your hips, take a deep inhale, gaze up. As you exhale, bring your hands down. Keeping your hands shoulders width apart. Check out your feet. Make sure they're still parallel. Take another inhale, long spine. And as you exhale, bend your elbows and bring your head towards the floor. Now, if you're really seasoned in this posture and you're used to doing inversions without a wall, if someone has taught this to you and you know how to do this really well, then you can go up into a tripod headstand. But do not try that. You've never done that before with a qualified teacher. Okay, so we're either staying here in a forward fold, or some of you are going to choose to come up into your inversion. You can keep your legs wide, or you can bring your legs together. Steady breath. If you'd like to try a little bit of core work, this is optional. I'm going to do this on the side if you want to look over. Look up for a second. Right? This is completely optional for you seasoned practitioners. Bend your right knee, bring your right knee towards your right arm, try to make contact. Bring it back up. Bring your left knee down. Try to make contact. Inhale, bring it up. Now take your legs wide, point your toes, try to get your toes just above the floor and hold it there for 10 minutes. Just kidding. Place your feet down. On your inhale, look up to straight arms. Exhale there. Hands on your hips, inhale and stand up. You have two choices. Take your hands behind your back and lock your fingers, or try reverse prayer. Be mindful of your wrists and your shoulders if you choose reverse prayer. Keeping your legs parallel and wide, take a deep inhale, gaze up, shoulders back, front body nice and long. And as you exhale, forward fold. Relax your neck, soften your gaze. And just let your exhales take you deeper into this, breath by breath. Each inhale, you lengthen your inner arms. Each exhale, you keep reaching up and over. Keep your legs engaged, press into your outer heels, upper thighs firm, pressing back. Take a last breath. Pressing firmly into your feet on your inhale, stand up. And bring your hands to your hips. Let's do one more forward bend. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, reach forward for your big toes. Hook them like you did earlier. Inhale to straight arms. Exhale, bend your elbows, bring your head down. So just keep pulling up on your toes, help you go deeper into your forward bend. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Take a last breath. And then come up halfway, place your hands in front of you. We'll just do this back and forth to open up our hamstrings and our hips a little bit more. So take your legs a little wider. Start to bend your right knee and keep your knee over your heel and straighten out your left leg and point your toes up. And then go to your left side. Keep your knee over your heel, turn your right toes up. Your right leg is straight. And then go back the other way. Just go back and forth a couple of cycles here on your own. You can use your hands or not. I prefer using my hands these days. But you can also do this free without your hands. A little more strengthening for your legs. Let's take one last round. End on your left side. And then bring your feet and heels closer together. Hands on your hips and slowly stand up. Okay, let's try a balance pose. Being really mindful of your knees in this pose. We're either coming into a tree pose, our right foot comes up first, either beneath your knee or above it. If you have a stronger, more seasoned practice and healthy knees, you can take this, a half lotus. But do not do this half lotus if you have any pain in your knees or any old knee injuries. If you're in tree pose, you can stay here with palms touching, you can lift both arms. If you are in a half lotus, I need to talk today, you can take a forward bend. But be really mindful of that knee. Some of you might choose to reach back to bind. If you take that forward fold and there's too much pressure on your knee, don't do it. Either stay standing like this, or just go back to your tree, which is safer. Okay, the hips have to open before you can do the deeper hip openers, and you can't really force that or you'll end up with injured knees. So let's stay here for another cycle of breath. And then when you're ready, let it go. If you're in the forward bend, stand up, and let's go to the left side. So choosing your tree pose, either your foot beneath your knee or above it. Some of you are going to take your half lotus. Be really mindful of that knee once again. Okay, pain is not a good thing. So don't do this if you're in pain. Then you're choosing to take a forward fold. If you're in a half lotus, being mindful of that knee again. Some of you will reach back to bind, or just keep both hands on the floor. And if you're in for tree pose, you can choose palms together. You can choose to lift both arms. Take another cycle of breath. And when you're ready, let it go. If you're in the forward bend, stand up. Let's all come back to the tops of our mats for Vinyasa. Bringing your feet together, arms at your sides. Deep inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to plank and lower all the way down. Inhale for your back bend, lift your chest. Exhale and press all the way back. Inhale, lift your right leg, open your hip, bend your knee. Square your hips off, take your right foot forward to warrior one. Inhale to rise. Find that steady breath. Exhale, warrior two. Open your hips and arms. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale to side angle. Either form on your thigh, elbow bent, left arm reaches up, or hand to the floor or block, left arm over your ear. Keep your knee directly over your heel, and keep firming your right hip in. Then create a line of energy from your outer left heel all the way to your fingertips. Last breath. Inhale back through warrior two, stay through the exhale. Another long inhale, and exhale, let it go. Choose your vinyasa however you like to take it. Pause in your downward dog. Bend your neck, lift your left leg up and back, open your hip. Square your hips off, step forward, warrior one, inhale to rise. Find that steady breath. Exhale, warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, side angle. Either form on your thigh, right arm up, or full pose, left hand behind your foot, right arm over your ear. Keeping your chest open, then create that line of energy from the outer right heel all the way through your fingertips. Steady breath. Last breath. Inhale, come back through. Stay through the exhale. Another long inhale. Exhale, let it go. Take your vinyasa. We'll meet up in our downward facing dog. When you get to downward dog, pause and long inhale. Exhale through your nose or your mouth. Look forward, walk forward to take a seat. And straighten both legs out in front of you. Okay, so you can mirror me. I'm going to teach opposite since I'm facing you once again. So you don't have to think about this too much. You can just copy me. Bring your right foot in towards you and release your knee down to the ground. You're either keeping your foot on the floor for Dano A, or as we did earlier in the balance pose, so basically this is like tree pose, except we're now seated. You can also take your foot on top of your thigh, so you're gonna half lotus again. And once again, the same rules apply. If this hurts your knee, don't do it, okay? But some of you are able to take this, and some of you will even choose back to take a toe. If not, lift both arms up, inhale, fold over your straight left leg as you exhale. Wherever your hands land is fine, either next to your leg. If you have a strap, I'm gonna use a strap knee. You can use a strap, a scarf, or just your foot maybe. So wherever your hands land is fine. Let your exhales take you deeper into this, breath by breath, keeping your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. So the breath is, again, the tool that helps us stay present and focused throughout our practice. It's also a nice way to go deeper into our postures. If you find you let your exhales take you deeper without forcing, finding more surrender, you'll actually go deeper. If you force it, that's when you usually end up with injuries. Last breath. Go ahead and sit all the way up. You're either keeping your left leg straight for a twist, or you can fold it back. And the same thing, you can keep your foot on the floor. If it's on top, you can keep your foot on top of your thigh. If your foot's on top, take your knees a little wider. Your right hand goes behind you, your left hand goes on top of your right knee. Then do the best you can to keep your left hip grounded as you twist. So your hip may possibly lift, root it down as best you can. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, twisting. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, find that twist. So once again, the exhales take you deeper into this, breath by breath. Take a last breath. Slowly unwind, and let's try the other side. So shake out your legs and give it a little shake, and then bring your left foot in towards you. Release your knee down. You're either keeping your foot on the ground or being mindful of your knee. You can do a half lotus. If you're choosing to bind, you can reach back to bind. If not, lift both arms up, take a deep, long inhale. Exhale and fold over your straight right leg. And then again, wherever your hands land is fine. Relax your shoulders. Focus on your exhales. Let your exhales take you deeper into the pose, breath by breath. As we find a little more surrender, a little more softening, we can actually go in a little bit deeper. Take a last cycle of breath. And slowly sit up. We're going into that twist, so you can either fold your right leg back or keep it straight. You can keep your foot on top of your thigh or bring it back to the floor. If your foot's on top of your leg, try to take your knees just a little wider so you can keep your right hip grounded. Left hand goes behind you, right hand goes on top of your left knee. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. And then just check in with your right hip, with your yogi's mind's eye. You can't really see it, but you can feel it, that your right hip starts to lift. Try to root it down as best you can. So this becomes a hip opener besides a spinal twist. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale to find that deeper twist. Take a last breath. And slowly unwind. Place both feet on the floor. We're going into boat pose Navasana. So in this first one, hook your toes like you did earlier in the first 2 fingers and thumbs and lift your feet up. Pull your belly up. Find that internal lift to balance. To your best ability, straighten your legs. If you need to modify, keep your knees bent. You can hang on to your hamstrings. You can have your hands behind you. You're either going to stay here holding, or you're going to lower down. If you lower, try to stay more on your mid-back. Okay, so using your core to lower down. Exhale, lower down. Try to stay on your mid-back. Inhale to come up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale, lower. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Place your feet down. Take a hold of your big toes again. Lift your feet. Find that internal lift. Once again, straighten your legs. Then try to let go. Nice. If you need to modify, modify. Hold here or exhale to lower. Inhale all the way up. Nice. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Don't hit me for this. Exhale down. Core is really good for your lower back. Inhale up. Nice. Okay, this is my new favorite. I'm going to give credit where credit is due for this one. When a fellow YogaWorks teacher, Liz Miller, did this in class one day, and it was really challenging. And I do a lot of core, so it's really hard for me to find things that are more challenging. So it's really good stuff, okay? So don't hate me. Left elbow goes to left knee. Right leg is straight. Try to keep this contact when you exhale to lower. Inhale to come up. And I lost it there. It's okay if you lose it, but do the best you can. Switch. Exhale down. Inhale up. Now when you go back, when you roll back, do not go all the way like you're going to go into plow. It's not that. Once again, try to stay on your mid-back again. Go at your own pace. Use your core. It's all core here. Try to keep that connection. So when I first learned this, I couldn't keep a connection at all, and I just kept doing it. It just made me stronger. And the stronger core you have, not only will you be lighter upside down and arm balances, but you'll have a healthy back. Take one more round. Stay on your left side, or finish on your left side. And then when you're ready, come back up. That was fun, wasn't it? Don't hate me. I love you all. Backwards tabletop, feet wide. Hands and foot behind your hips. Lift your hips up. Or straight legs, feet together. Be mindful of your low back if you choose this more traditional pose. Keep pressing into the heels of your hands to lift up a little higher through your hips, so your toes eventually touch the ground. Last breath. Come all the way down. Cross your ankles. Take a vinyasa or just go back, straight back to your downward dog. Pausing your downward dog, take a long, deep inhale. Exhale out through your mouth. Then inhale, look up. Step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee to the floor so you're in a low lunge. Shift your hips back to straighten out your right leg, flex your foot. So you're in a half split right now. You might want to stay here, walk your hands forward, release your chest over your straight right leg. If you have a seasoned practice and you've learned this pose, the full splits from a qualified teacher, firstly, if I have any students out there today, I teach this all the time because it's an important posture to do daily. If you ever want to actually get deeper into it, it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. So you can't ever force it. Be happy wherever you're at. That usually can take a couple years to get to the floor on this one. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say that to encourage you to keep practicing. So wherever you're at, just be happy. Keep your front foot flexed. And keep shifting that right hip back, left hip forward. Those of you with a more advanced practice, you're welcome to take any variation that you have learned from your teachers. There's the back bend version you can take. You can go forward. Again, just do what you've already been taught. Now is not a time to try something without supervision. So I'll give you a little heads up what we're going to do after this. After the left side, we're actually going to that pose that I mentioned earlier, the arm balance, Vashisthasana. And then some of us are going to have the choice to take it into this split. Take a last breath, and then come out, and then find your way back to a downward facing dog. And then as you're ready, look forward, take your left foot forward, drop your right knee down, shift yours back and straighten that left leg, flex your foot. And then you can stay here, walk your hands forward as far as you can and release your chest over that straight left leg. Or if you have a full split practice or moving in that direction, go deeper. As you go deeper, keep shifting that left hip back, right hip forward. So you want to keep your hips neutral, just like you did in your earlier warrior one. Keep that steady breath. And if you chose any other variation that you've learned from your teachers, go ahead and do that. Okay, find your way to your downward facing dog. All right, so let's do this pose twice, okay? So let's do the first one together, and we're just gonna do straight Vashisthasana. If you know the full pose, I'll show you the different variations of Vashisthasana. After that, and I'm only doing this as a little heads up so you know what's going on. After that, we'll take a little break, and we'll try that pose again. And that second time, you may want to incorporate that split that we just did, and again, it's completely optional, okay? So let's start on our left hand first. So center your left hand on your mat, straighten out your legs and stack your right leg over the left. Lift your right arm, open your chest. If you need to modify, you can drop down to your left knee, or you can place your right foot in front instead and stay. You can try tree, you can try half lotus. We did all of this earlier. Some of you will take your toe and send your leg up for the full pose. And again, just be mindful with what you choose to do. Last breath, and let it go. And let's go out to the other side. Okay, so now your right hand centers, stacking your legs, modify if you need to. You may choose tree pose, half lotus, or the full pose. Pressing into the bottom foot and hand. Last breath, and let it go. Come to your knees. Place both hands flat on your mat with your fingers facing towards you. So you're getting a stretch in your forearms and your wrist. Okay, now stay there, and I'm going to show you what we're doing in case you've never done this before. My regular students, again, I teach this a lot, or maybe your teachers have taught this to you before. So those of you who can do the full pose, and even if you can't do the full split, you can try it. I prefer doing this with my foot that's coming down on the ground because I can slide. And you'll see what I mean when I get to that part. So we're going back to Vashisthasana. Some of you who can do the full pose, you're going to take your foot to the floor and all the way forward. Keep your back toes curled under. Wherever you land in your split is fine. It doesn't have to be the full split. Press into that left hand and foot. Slide your heel back. Slide, 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 slide. Up you go. And then if you want, just for fun, to take the back bend after that, you're welcome to take that. If that does not sound appealing, don't do it. All right, so left hand centers again. Stack your legs, right arm reaches. You're choosing to stay, or you're choosing the full pose. Take your toe up, send your leg up. Your leg goes to your right, forward, and down. Keep your back toes curled under. As you start to slide your right heel back, pivot your left heel down, leg goes up. And then if you chose the vinyasa, take your vinyasa. If you need a break, take a little break, and let's get ready for the other side. And I promise after this, it's gonna be easy from here on out. Okay, this is like our peak part of the practice for today. Right hand centers, left leg stacks, left arm reaches up. Stay or take your toe. Now your leg goes over to your left, forward, and down. Keep your back toes curled under. Press into your right hand. Slide your heel back. Slide, 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 slide it up you go. And then your left foot back. If you chose the back bend, optional. Let's meet up in child's pose. So as you're ready, come to your knees. In this particular child's pose, let's have our palms turned over So the back of your hand is on your mat. So give your wrist a little bit of a break. And just relax here. Find a little surrender. Find that steady breath once again. As you're ready, sit on up and lie down on your back, getting ready for bridge pose. So slide your heels to your sit bones. Keep your feet hips width apart, arms at your sides, palms down. Press into your arms and your feet. On your inhale, lift your hips, lift your spine. Interlock your hands beneath you and tuck your shoulders under one at a time. Press into your feet and arms to lift your hips up. Find that steady breath. Keep your hands out, come all the way down. If you have a full back bend practice, you can move on to a full back bend. Otherwise, repeat bridge pose again. We'll do 2 more. If you're moving on to a full back bend, hands above your shoulders, next to your ears. First, come to the top of your head, pause, and then push up from there. Any variations that you like to take while you're here. Steady breath. As you're ready, you'll come down. If that was enough back bends for you, take happy baby, feet up in the air, flex your feet, or do 1 more on your own. Okay, so do 1 more. If you have 1 or 2 more in you, do that now. And then the rest of us, we're gonna meet up here in happy baby with your feet in the air. Ankles will be over your knees, using your hands to draw your knees towards the floor. And then let your low back release down. You should feel your low back really grounded here. And if you like to rock from side to side, that feels good for you, go ahead and do that. If you did a few extra back bends, make your way to happy baby. And then as you're ready, switch your hands to your big toes and take your legs into straddle. Press through your heels. Take the last breath. Bring your legs together, bend your knees, rock up to seated. And then take your legs into a wide straddle. Turn to face your right leg and walk your hands towards your ankle or foot, or use the strap if you have one. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold over your straight right leg. Try to keep your left hip grounded as you move into this forward fold. Keep both feet flexed. Keep that steady breath. We're winding down now, so just let the breath be a little bit softer. And let's take this into the Padikasana side twist. So place your right arm on the inside of your foot. Hold on to your foot just above your heel. And lift your left arm up. Open your chest towards the ceiling. You can wrap your left arm behind your back and stay there. Keep drawing that left shoulder back. Or you can reach for the top of your right foot. From your bottom right ribs, open your chest to your left. Both legs are still engaged. Let your breath be just a little softer. Slowly come up. Now let's go to the forward bend on the left side. So walk your hands forward. Take whatever you can. As you exhale, fold over your straight left leg. Do the best you can to keep your right hip grounded, your right leg engaged. Both feet stay flexed. Taking this into the side twist, place your left arm on the inside now. Lift your right arm, open your chest. Wrap that right arm behind your back or reach to the top of your foot. And keep turning your chest from your bottom left ribs towards the ceiling. Let your breath be softer. On your next inhale, sit up. Couple of choices here. Keeping your toes turned up as you go forward, you can come down to your forearms. If you have blocks or a pillow and want to rest on that, you can use that. You can have your arms straight in front of you. Some of you can take your feet above your heels and release your chest all the way down. And it's something that can't be forced. If you're flexible enough to do this, great. No big deal. You're still getting a really good opening in your hips and hamstrings. It's at the end of class, so you're pretty open in those areas. Just again, steady breath. Try to keep your toes turned up. And then go ahead and sit all the way up. Bend your knees, bring your feet together, Adho Konasana. Let's do a little variation. This is a new favorite variation that I have. So you have more of a diamond shape with your legs. Okay, so have your feet a little further away from you. It's like an easier version of this Kramasana, those of you who do that pose. And if you have that practice, you're welcome to do that pose. This is your Kramasana. If you know it and it's something that's part of your practice, go for it. The rest of us are going to stay in a diamond shape. And each arm goes beneath each leg and to the tops of your feet, head down. So your back will be a little bit more rounded here. There's really no effort. It's all surrender. If you're in that Kramasana pose, your arms are flat underneath your legs and palms are down. And again, that Kramasana pose, only if you've learned it from a qualified Ashtanga teacher, teaches flow like me. But I like this inspiration because that when I'm doing, it gives your back a really good stretch in a very safe way because you're not forcing this. It gets deeper into your inner thighs, your adductor muscles. Take a last breath. And then slowly sit up. Take a hold of your big toes. Like we did earlier in Navasana, lift your feet up. Find your balance, find that internal lift. Then take your legs into straddle in the air. Flex your feet, maybe you're gazing up. Worst case scenario, you'll roll onto your back, just come back in. So notice how much core you have to use to stay here in balance. Then try taking your legs together. And then maybe you're gazing up. Nice. Let go of your toes, lift both arms straight up to the ceiling. Bring your legs all the way down. Take a long, nice deep inhale. Reach all the way through your fingertips. Exhale, take a full forward bend. Paschimottanasana. Wherever your hands land is fine. Let's take you deeper into this breath by breath. Last breath. Go ahead and sit up. If you know that you're going to take Shavasana after my class today, you can lie down or stay seated. As we start in the beginning of class, take a comfortable cross-legged position. If you have a full lotus practice, you can come into a full lotus. Hands on your knees, palms down or palms open. Relax your shoulders, soften your gaze. Let's all come together. Deep, long inhale. Pause at the top of the breath. Exhale through your mouth. All to the very end of that breath. Deep, long inhale. Try to slow down that inhale. It's like sipping air through a straw. At the top of that breath, hold. And then exhale through your mouth. Breathing through your nose. Deep, long inhale. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Let's pause at the top. Exhale all the way to the bottom of that breath. Inhale.